So many of us move through the life saying, I'm fine, not because we truly are, but because it feels safer, easier, more acceptable. But what if that constant state of being fine is quietly draining our energy, our clarity, and our peace? Today, we are exploring what happens when fine becomes the problem. Welcome to Inner Peace, Better Health, the space where we explore the gentle but powerful connection between emotional well being and a healthier, more grounded life. I am your host, Nazish, and today I am joined by Katharine Chestnut, a mindful mediation teacher, personal growth guide, and emotional abuse recovery advocate. Catherine supports busy professionals who look capable on the outside but often feel overwhelmed, disconnected, or emotionally exhausted beneath the surface. In this conversation, we are talking about when being fine becomes the problem and how reclaiming honesty with ourselves can be a doorway to real inner peace. Welcome to the show, Catherine.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for creating space for conversations like this, especially when mental health and mindfulness can so easily get watered down and become a buzzword. So I really appreciate you holding space for something real.
Wonderful, I am glad. So, when you hear someone say, I am fine, what does that often signal to you beneath the words?
It it takes me back to a time when I used to say that all the time, and it makes me want to listen more closely to them because on the outside, very frequently, we do everything perfect on paper. We're productive, we're dependable, we're outwardly successful, and yet completely disconnected from ourselves. So I listen for those signs and try and hold space to let this person know that it's safe to be themselves.
Wonderful. That is such a beautiful way to put it. And that quiet gap between what we say and what we feel can hold so much information and so much unspoken need.
Absolutely, because fine very often means functional but disconnected, like I was saying, and being emotionally overloaded or over controlled looks like competence.
I agree. Many people believe that being fine means they are coping well or staying strong. What do you think we misunderstand about the emotional strength when we default to that word?
Um, Being fine is often just a socially acceptable version of survival mode. So I myself wasn't burned out because I was weak. I was exhausted because I never felt safe enough to stop holding it all together. So stress often hides behind our productivity.
I agree. In the way you put it, that stress often hide behind our productivity. It is something that is going to land with many of our listeners today. It sounds like strength isn't all about emotional neutrality. It is about honesty and self atonement.
Yes, absolutely, and thinking about it, uh, do you remember the line in, the movie There's No Crying in Baseball?
Yes.
I remember
I,
saying to myself many times, "There's no crying in business,"
yeah.
because we just we feel like we can't be human in those situations, and being calm and confident isn't about being perfect. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about creating an internal safety feeling internally safe to live and without hiding behind a mask of perfection.
I agree. So, what do you notice? What do you notice are the deeper reasons people learn to live in this fine state, especially high achievers or busy professionals?
It's about being safe. We're taught that being in control is being safe, and our nervous system prioritizes safety over everything else. So we're looking to create safety, and so much of the time we're doing it through external systems instead of prioritizing that inner safety first.
Yes, yes, I agree. And so often fine becomes a survival strategy, and once helped, but may not, but it does not stay longer.
Absolutely. And here's the key is you don't have to break down. You don't have to have a breakdown to start taking care of yourself. But our our willpower to control everything fails when our body doesn't feel safe. So again, that
Yes.
breakdown, we don't have to break down to start creating that safety for ourselves.
I agree. So, when someone stays in fine for too long, how does that tend to impact their body relationship or sense of peace?
We're completely disconnected, right? I'm known for saying that I spent the first 40 years of my life in my head. I was very connected with everything that was logical and practical and pragmatic, but not necessarily connected to what felt right in my body. And our bodies will let us know when something is not right, but frequently we're not listening to it.
I agree. And, it is powerful to see how body and emotions eventually ask to be heard, sometimes longer than we expect. Like you just said, that we don't always need to have a breakdown.
Yes, we do not need to have a breakdown. Um, Unfortunately, many of us do because 'cause we're not listening. We're
But
listening externally, but we're not listening to what's going on in our bodies. And unfortunately, the universe is gonna bring us situations to make us listen. And sadly, many of us get to a place of crisis in some way or another, whether it be physically or emotionally or mentally, before we'll actually hear.
yeah, that is absolutely true. And so, for someone listening right now who recognizes themselves here but feels unsure on how to open that door, what's the gentle first step towards moving beyond fine without feeling overwhelmed?
There's lots of little things, and I would say really simple, small things to begin restoring a balance in our lives. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath and doing some breath, and breath work sounds really fancy way of saying connecting with our body. And I've been known to be in a meeting and we take a break and I'm feeling overwhelmed and go to the ladies' room and just sit and do some breath work and pay attention to my body, get grounded again. And even if it's only for a minute or two, those small minutes add up to help us restore balance.
I agree. And that softness, meeting yourself where you are, feeling like the foundation of real healing.
Yes, very much so. And there's so many different things we can do if breathing, which is the most natural thing that we can do, isn't isn't working for you. So maybe it's journaling, maybe it's some visualization meditation. There's so many different ways that we can start, but small. Start small and don't overwhelm yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate the depth and honesty and the calm wisdom that you're sharing with us today.
Well, you don't need a complete life overhaul. You don't have to go sit on the top of a mountain after having a breakdown to start. Just notice where you're tensing or rushing and step back for a moment and just
Absolutely.
listen to yourself.
Sometimes when we stop being fine, uncomfortable emotions surface. What helps people stay grounded and compassionate with themselves when that happens?
I'm still gonna go back to stepping back and getting grounded, and I don't care how you do it, whether it be through breath or going for a walk. Go for a walk around the building where you're at and pay it don't listen to music, listen to your senses. What are you feeling or hearing or smelling? Being very present and connected in the moment allows you to be connected to your body. Those small things are nervous system resets, and they matter so much more than a big honkin', "Oh, I have to go to a retreat to fix everything." Just start small.
Yes, I agree. And that is so beautifully put. It sounds like healing isn't about fixing emotions, but learning how to sit with them safely.
And we don't have to carry them with us indefinitely. That's the
Oh,
other thing, is acknowledging them. They are valid, but then letting them go. They've done their job. 'Cause emotions are there to teach us something and to have us wake up and pay attention. And when we're done with them, it's let them go.
absolutely. I agree. And you have brought such value to this podcast today. And you have explained everything with so much clarity, and that's so beautiful.
Well, it all comes from my own lived experiences
Mm, I
and
agree.
at what I've had to learn over so many years
Mhm.
myself.
Yes. So, listeners, this one is for you. In if fine has been your default, what might you need right now if you allowed yourself to answer more honestly, even just to yourself? Inner peace doesn't come from being fine. It comes from listening to what's true and responding with care. Catherine, for our listeners who want to explore more about your work and connect with you, where's the best place for them to find you?
You can find me on my website, which is katherinechestnut.com, but also I have been a meditation teacher on Insight Timer for the last 7 years. I also have all my meditations and insights on YouTube as well. Again, all under Katharine Chestnut.
Wonderful. I will make sure to include all these details into the show notes. And thank you so much for joining us on Inner Peace, Better Health. You have made this conversation so fun and so beautiful.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Wonderful. And listeners, if today's conversation resonated, I invite you to slow down, check in, and notice what's asking for your attention beneath the surface. Until next time, you may meet yourself with honesty, compassion, and care.